There I go again, forgetting to plug my mic in. This time I remembered it before talking to people for like 20 minutes. Hi. Meow. Kitty. Let's see if we can get Kitty. 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 Kitty looking out the window. Oh, I could get kitty, but I guess they'll have to do. Anyway, okay. Let me actually get music playing there. Just be careful though. I have an arm from a monitor, and I feel like I'm gonna. Or there's one time I went to go push it back, and I didn't realize it was by the window, and I pushed the monitor, and I hear meow, and yeah, I pushed it into Kitty. Oh yeah, face. Dun 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 dun. Let's see, thumbs up there. Triple stuff here. All right, there we go. I have a couple new songs too. Actually, I had quite a few new songs. I think I added 5. Yeah. Anyways. So, stream today is going to be a bit short because I have to actually go back to work. Well, not like physically, but I have to do more actual work tonight for my day job. So, considering I was already at work late and got home enough time to eat and stream, I don't want to like spend all my time working in the evenings. So, I'll only be streaming for about an hour or so. But, still got plenty of stuff to do here. Let's see here. Oh, Twilight, you're not...
Here are some facts about flying. Facts about flying. 1. You need wings to fly.
Oh yeah, we work on this.
You need wings to fly.
Okay, so we're just working on the animation for this part.
You need wings to fly. You need wings.
Okay, so I do have to get her. I'm not gonna worry about her wings right now.
You need wings. You need wings. 1. You need wings.
I think. Where's her eyes? For one, now I don't actually need to have her be loud, so I can quiet her down. I am willing to try out new music. Let me look that up right now. Oh, it is on Pandora. I probably heard it before. It was posted 3 years ago, so probably. There. What is... What is it? There. Is Steam offline? Yep, Steam is offline.
You need wings to fly.
I'm sure I got some balance. I was playing with my headset volume before. Yeah, it's balanced.
You need wings to fly. You need wings to
I was gonna make her blink.
wings.
I think the first one.
Wings to fly.
I'm not going to.
Wings to fly. Fly. To fly. To wings to fly. Wings to fly. To fly. Wings to fly. Wings to fly.
Arn Anderson? That's cool.
Wings to fly. You need you need you need wings.
I want to have there's quite a bit.
Need wings to fly. Wings. Wings. Wings to fly. You need wings to fly.
Okay, that works pretty good.
You need wings to fly.
Nice.
Wings to fly. Wings. Wings to fly. To fly.
Yeah, one of the musicians I think would be cool to meet is Ivan Torrent. He's probably my favorite epic music person. I think it's a good song. I might skip on putting it on the list just because it has an audio balance thing where it has a slow build up to a big build up, but it works if you're listening to the music at a good volume. But on the stream, when you're trying to keep it at a lower volume, it kind of makes it feel like there's nothing playing for a little bit and then a little something and then it goes away. So I try to stick with ones usually that have a fairly balanced audio level, but it is a pretty good song for sure. Okay, so this one is the right size. Oh, okay, yeah, because YouTube's audio thing.
Wings to fly. You need wings. You need wings. You need wings. You need
Yeah, my watch later list, I haven't went through it in a while.
wings.
And so I have I finally got able to go through some yesterday.
Wings. Wings. You need wings. You need wings to fly. One. You need wings to fly. You need
That should work.
wings.
I wanted to keep the oomph feel.
Wings. You need wings. You need wings to fly. One. You need wings to fly. You need wings. Wings to fly. Wings to fly. Wings to fly. To fly. To fly. Wings to fly.
I could probably cheat the crap out of that.
To fly. To fly. Wings to fly. Two. To fly.
Oops, wrong way.
To fly. To fly. To fly. Fly. Wings to fly.
That should work. Well, for this one, I love this picture for that. I don't know, it's cool, like the 80s style Cowboy Bebop. Give it. Her. It's been a long day. My brain doesn't work. There we go. Close enough.
To fly. Wings 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 to fly. To fly. Wings to fly. Wings to fly. Flies to fly. Wings to fly. Wings to fly. Wings to fly. To fly. Wings to fly.
What do I consider harder to animate, humans or ponies? I really don't know because I haven't really done much for human. Well, no, I did one human. I did Demo Man, but it's still hard for me to make a judge of it because I don't have the same amount of experience in both. It also depends on what you're doing with a person. I think that a person can be more expressive because you can have talking with your hands. You can have the eyes being smaller in a way remove some of the emotion, but then allow you to put more of it in the face. I think animating people is easier, or if I had to pick between the two, I'd probably pick people. You have to animate fingers, which is kind of annoying, but one of the things that's super annoying about ponies is that motion is usually, you could say, dependent around kind of where their center of mass is. So when you have a person and they're standing there with just two legs, so if you imagine this is the person, well, okay, I can't lock, their gloves are locked, but it's on two legs, that the center of mass is going to be between the two right here, so you only have kind of that point to work with, and you're free to move your hands otherwise. With ponies, your center of mass is right here, so, or your center of all the hoofs, and so it just ends up being that if you want to do any motions, like if I want to turn a pony around, well, with a person, you'd turn around their center, so you just move their legs and you would be good. A pony, you have 4 legs to try to turn somebody with. That is a lot of motion. Normally, if I had to turn somebody around, I would either try to do it where I have the camera hiding, like hiding that area by keeping the camera like around here, because then who cares? I can kind of hide the motion. Or if I'm going to have to show the feet, it takes a lot of work because it's about like, okay, well, now you probably have to back up a little bit and you have to do the full churn, and how far can they stretch because of the model's limitations. It's annoying. So, but I think in terms of facial animations, ponies are one of the better ones out there just because of how they have so much flexibility for the face. So, but it's hard for me to give a judgment on it just because I have so little experience on the biped side. I want to make sure it's not. Oh, that should be fine. Need wings to fly. Well, that actually works out pretty good right there. Sites Y is great, especially using the Dr. Spara audio. I think that a lot of that comes as a testament to the models, not so much me. The models have come a long way to having the ability to even do a lot of that stuff. I've just been able to utilize the tools that are given to me. I think that the modelers being able to add in so many flexes that can be used in such a way and add in the flexibility and stuff, I think that that's... I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing without the modelers doing what they do, so... And they don't get near enough credit. It's closed. I appreciate the compliments nonetheless, though. But I know that like the thing with the TF2 characters and a lot of the ones in SFM otherwise is that they're built for they're built for gaming, so their facial structures are built into phonetics because they can tie a phonetic to a sound that is automatically generated when they say something. So they get an approximation for mouth motion, and then they have an emotion that is a full facial thing that changes the emotion, which is nice and makes things simple. But the more simple you make things, or the more automated you allow it to be, you remove a lot of customization options. So if I wanted to make the face like for Rainbow here, to do it like this, I wouldn't be able to do that with a TF2 person because I don't have the ability to manipulate the mouth bones in such a way to get that side look and some of those extra little nuances. So it's the modelers having put the effort into adding in bones so that I can actually just literally like grab here and actually grab the bones and move them, which is more like an actual more of an actual 3D software. So that's pretty cool. TF2 characters don't have that, at least not to the same degree that these ones have. Have you done any SFM collaborations outside of MLP related content before? Oh yeah. Run Doors. The Doors is... That's more of an anthology than it is a collaboration. It's people making their individual pieces. If you're talking about collaboration in terms of like me working on a part of something that becomes a complete video, yes, I have. For instance, I helped Stan with his bunny business video. Though most of what I did was with lighting. I don't think I touched any of the animation. I did all the lighting for that one. So if you look at Bunny Business SFM from Stan, that one I did. I did some small animation bits for Overmare. A lot of the idols. I have another project that I was helping with, but there's some logistics things going on right now, so I can't state what that is. But I was part of that. I'm trying to think if I did any other collab stuff. Not that I can think of. I started an Ember video and I never got to finishing it, so I passed it to Surya Dragon to finish, or finish the way he wants to. So in a way, that was a collab, just unintentional.
You need wings to fly. 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 Wings to
Well, if the TF2 models can't have that because they're made for a video game. So if they were to add in that functionality, it would be adding processing power to a game, to something, and a game is meant to get the most out of as little as possible. So if you put in too much, you're not going to have the processing power to have a good frame rate or whatever. So, but when I'm doing the SFM stuff, frame rate doesn't matter. The rendered end bit is all that matters. It might make it take longer to render, but it doesn't matter at all. So if TF2 were to add that, they would be basically making a custom version of a TF2 model specific for the use of SFM. And the fact that they haven't really updated SFM for a while means that I probably would not hold out on anything like that coming across. But I haven't played with them enough to see as to what kind of a power you have in the face. A lot of the flexes that do exist for TF2 in terms of how the facial moves are really good, and you can make some really good facial bits with it because of how they did a really good job mapping it. But it's but that's because professionals. The Pony SFM community has been a lot of amateurs or people that are starting out and learning, but or this is their journey started with 3D and the SFM ponies, and so the quality of the models has just been growing over the years because people are learning and they're exploring and they're finding new ways to do things, and that's super cool. People finding a hobby at something like this to potentially make a either career or to feel there's something satisfying about it compared to like just playing video games or getting an achievement into something. Like it's more satisfying to see a finished product like that. It's like an arts and crafts thing.
wings to fly. Wings to fly. Wings to fly. To fly. Wings 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 to fly.
Mm.
Wings to fly. Wings to fly. Wings to fly. Wings to fly.
No, I don't like the head turn. I thought it would work, but it doesn't. It kind of makes it, from the angle that it's looking at, it makes it look like her whole body's shifting, even though it's not. What a separate model specifically made for SFM that's not used in the game engine? No, there might be, but again, that's a lot of work for them to put into something that would be used for only that. Maybe it exists. I don't know. They might have the. I've never checked like the if they have like a TF2 movies version of the models. We.
Wings. 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 To fly.
Wings, I know. It's the emphasis in her motion is so tied to the vocals that I need to have them there. Still don't like the one. Do I have a tongue going up? No, I don't. That should work.
Awesome. Wings to fly.
The sound effect's there for a reason.
Fly. Awesome. To fly.
wonder if I can... If I can pull her back. I'll keep it there. Okay, so that timing should work. I have to be careful with that back leg. I'm gonna keep it locked, but I don't think I'm gonna need it. It's gonna have some issues with that. Actually, I know what I can do. So this, I'm gonna say it's 7.5 to 7.9. So what I just do is I stretch this to there. There we go. And then I just follow it with the leg motion. Now I don't actually have to lock that. Problem solved. She can count. Okay, I'm not going to bother correcting some of her other motion stuff here. I'm just going to pretend that this is the one motion. I don't have to worry about. So normally when she's going up forward like this, it probably would have her going down. That's the thigh. It's still the thigh. Probably need to have to lift her leg more. Okay, so now that I did that, I have to be careful because some of these complex multi-motion things I'm doing are going to start compounding into making a wobble on the hoof. So I have to be careful on how I do that. Thankfully I can't see it anyway, so who cares? don't mind bothering. I can't even see that leg. I'll go back. So I have her front go up a bit, but I don't actually have her body go up a bit. So I want to have that. So like that. Now this one I actually want to have the left foot locked. That should work. Not perfect, but one, I think that the motion itself needs to be slowed down a little bit. Once I start adding some of this secondary stuff in here, it's going to start getting messy quick. Because I can provide the oomph of her motion with just some extra head motion. There we go. I muted it for a bit. I'm just so used to hearing stuff over and over again. It's just muted to me. It doesn't help that it's like a shrill voice too. If I want to have her, since I already have it locked. I think I might leave it like that. Oof, that was her head. That's what I wanted. Oh, the eyes are already done that way. Okay, never mind then. Actually, I need to blend that. Okay, I'm going to check to see if pushing forward would be the better approach. It might work. I'm gonna do the dip downwards first. I think that should be a little more. There. Kind of looks shitty right now, but it'll get better. Okay, so what was this motion? Forward, and so I probably don't actually want to bend the thighs. I'm actually going to do this all through these. This is going forward. This is probably a little bit more of a stretch. Yeah. Hello, Kel-chan.
Awesome. Awesome.
See this at this angle, it's just really hard to see that she's actually making an ooh sound. For one, it's just her smirk is stronger on one side than the other. Actually, her mouth in general just seems a little droopy on this side. I'll have to actually fix it.
Awesome. 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 Awesome.
That's just so funny.
Awesome. Awesome.
Just don't know if, because the eyes here I don't think can go down. Not really. Actually, they might go up. Yep. Still definitely add some other motion in there, but messed it up. I wonder if she goes to do this. I'm thinking about having her just do a blank stare forward.
Awesome. Awesome.
Actually, I wonder if...
Awesome. Awesome.
I think the diversion away from the previous focal point would probably be more confusing than that.
Awesome.
Yeah. If anything, having her head maybe turned more towards the camera.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, I kind of like that a bit more. Because it just felt... It felt like she was looking at you and not at you at the same time. When it's close and zoomed in, it's different.
Awesome. Awesome.
I don't like that either. I think I can have her settle into a position sideways. I haven't even finished the animation for that, actually. Okay, that does work, but you have to offset it a little bit. So, because this has her going up, I have to offset it by the head going down a teeny bit. Or not. Oh. Now I know why that doesn't work. First I gotta do the legs. I only say to offset it because I'm moving the pelvis. So if I move, or every bone after that multiplies that motion. So if the pelvis is attached to the chest monitor, which is attached to chest 2, which is attached to the neck, attached to the head. So by the time it gets to the head, it being as far from the source is going to be moving a lot further than just a tiny little motion of the pelvis. So I offset the head, so while it's moving one way, the head moves back, and it makes it so the body's moving, but the head seems to stay still. You know what? Actually, the legs feel like kegs. They're one of the reasons that I find difficulty in making a run cycle, because running of a horse actually running has their legs crossed underneath themselves, but it's hard to do that when there is no space back in here to fit another leg for crossing. No, the hooves aren't detached. It's just that there's no good rig, and that's an IK rig, what I mean, so, which is inverse kinematic. So you probably know what that is. So for those who don't know, it's the ability to grab like a hand, like here if you grab a hand and it moves the elbow and everything with it, that would be using a rig. But you have to tell it how to you need to tell it how to calculate its motion or how it's connected. Like if it's straight out, what way do I bend it, and like maintaining that, all that. Ponies don't have a good one of that, so my way of offsetting that is I lock the hooves to the ground, and whenever I do a motion, I move all the bones to match that motion. It's sloppy, and it could lead to some wobbly bits on the end if you start crisscrossing. Like if I make a motion in this time and then do something here and then another one here, I have a lot of partial motion on top of a keyframe motion, so eventually it's going to start, you can kind of notice it in here with the hooves, it gets a little bit of a wobble. Yeah, like there. Well, actually that one I cheated, so that's why it's doing it. But yeah, you get just some motion that doesn't always match. But normally I'm not showing the hooves in that example. I'm usually try to keep it at about this level or higher, so that I don't have to deal with the issues of it. Yeah, there are jelly hooves. SFM has IK, but if you want to know what an IK script looks like, that is this. Yeah, do you want to play with that? No. It goes, I tried to figure out what a lot of this stuff is, and it's really not that hard to understand. It's hard to implement and to make it do the things you want to, because a lot of this is like, see, getting position here. This is just or where's the, yeah, so that's that. A lot of this is getting names of stuff. I think this is where it's defining names. Oh no, it's defining rotation stuff. I mean, it's like figuring out all the initial information. Yeah, this is to figure out rotations. I think this is where you can get it to go reverse or normal. This is the actual name, so that it's saying find the DAG for root transform, name it bone root, and all these. Makes it so you can copy paste one script into another by just changing how it defines each bone name. Then saying, okay, no, what is its relationship? And it says it's, or no. Oh, okay, yeah, this is where you actually attach them to the bones. And then down here is when you're actually creating the relationships. So you're saying the row is attached to pelvis, pelvis is attached to spine 0 is attached to spine 1 is attached to neck, neck is attached to head. And it's like, it's kind of hard to get these to work right. And it's not, I don't think there's any problem with the rigs, it's the problem with the model. I don't think that the models, the way that they're built, work well for IK rigs. And the main reason I have issue with the IK rig, and I'm out of time here anyway, so I will just open up a new one here. Save. Okay. And I do not know if they work with the new models, so I'm just going to load in. Actually, I'm going to load in. Oh yeah, that works because I wanted something Earth Pony-ish. So this is normal twilight. I've used rig for a while. Though the back legs I think work fine. The issue is in the front legs. So you see it just renamed a bunch of the bones. So now it has rig tail. And all the other bones are still here. They're just, you shouldn't use them. But now if I grab, say, the hips now, see it actually attaches so you should dance. You said to be careful because you can start getting some weird things if you're not careful. I should not standing on the ground, but whatever. Let's. I don't think spine. Yeah, spine one. So this is one of the issues you gotta be careful of. If you pull too much, these ones are causing a twist, which really means that their values are wrong. So it's spinning the entire center here backwards, which you can tell when some models are built using that, because, or with the rig, because when they're doing certain walks, if they get like I use Takios a lot, but the one issue I have with it is that the front right leg, and I think a little bit on the left, hit the point where they start doing that twist a little bit. And when I had a pit buck attached to it for a video, the pit buck normally you can't really notice it when they're walking normal, but when they're walking with something attached there, you can see the whole thing just like do a twitch sideways, which gets annoying. This is a slightly modified one compared to a lot of the ones out there otherwise. But the back legs, see, I think these ones work okay. But again, you're also not getting a full bend all the way to the feet. You're only getting the back legs, so that it works, but kinda. Squattins. But did you ever see ponies that have paws in motion? That's why. This should be bending more to compensate, to connect, but it's not built to pull to know at least even to pull this back far enough to make up for it. And even then, you can see here that this should actually be turned forward. So it just, there's too many complexities, and once you start using a rig, you can't really stop using it without having issues. Go back to normal. We'll go detach rig. Doesn't always like you doing that. Okay, but to show you what I mean by how it can impact a cycle, let's get Mars. There it is. So it's going to be hard to see here, but when the hoof is right here, you can see that you can now see a little bit of the text. You can actually see the lines going around. That whole front leg now is curved. Well, I like this motion. If I go to take a pit buck, okay, so it's not this one I wanted, but you can see now, look at that. That's because of the rig. So it makes it so that if you have clothing or certain things, and actually this is the correct orientation, this is wrong. That's why you can see the whole leg just looks turned in. So when I was working on the follow leaving the stable video, Pip Buck kept doing that, and so by the time I actually started attaching that stuff to her, and I realized that that was an issue, I couldn't go back and redo that work. So I had to offset the animation. So it was like finding the motion, offsetting it so that it instead just looked like a small shake. So it was a lot of extra work to fix. It was really annoying. So yeah. That's why I don't like rigs. But you can see with the back leg, it looks pretty good. But the one issue you can see with the back leg is the whole leg is up and down straight. So when the walk cycle was made, it was made to just pull that forward and backwards, but it didn't actually bend here. Like normally when a leg goes forward like this, you'd assume that there's like some kind of a lag motion. So like that this leg would be sticking behind a little bit. And then it would then be pulling itself forward to be ready for the next step. Actually, it'd probably go like that. I'm not going to try to play with the timing too much. So, but it's about actually moving more than that. And also like the hoof here, having it stay like behind to like push off a little bit, and then having it try to come back down like this. I've actually went and done things like this on some of the videos I've done where I added that little extra detail to the walk cycles. But it's just been when I have time or care. So, yeah. Anyway. I think what it is that it's twisting because its bone and the rig's bone aren't playing with the same rotations, so it doesn't need the rig's bone until it gets pulled to its limit, and then when it does, it like gets yanked into the orientation of the other one, and then when it's because it's only the one bone, the one for the hoof is the same, so I think that's fine. So I think it's just that the rig needs to have its orientation flipped 180, and then I think it'd be fitting it or fixing it for the most part. I was playing with it. You can tell I have one called Argo Update, so I was playing around with it, trying to make it work better, and some things I was able to do slightly, and even these ones are an updated version from Shattered Wings, which is like, I mean, these files are 2014, so I got them like 4 years ago, over 4 years ago, but never got around to actually finishing it. So, or caring enough. It's easy to try to figure out some of the scripting issues for other things. Yeah, Shadowwing over here. It's easy to figure out how to fix some things when you have the ability to like change one thing and see an effect. But a lot of the stuff in the IK rig files, you change one thing and it just breaks it. So it's hard to figure out through trial and error how to do things correctly in there. It would take me a long time to figure it out, and I really don't think it's worth the amount of time it would take. So, I mean, I spent quite a long time as it was working or putzing with these and just gave up. Whatever. Anyways, so I don't know. I haven't cared enough. Anyways, I actually have to start doing some more like actual normal day work stuff because we're pushing through something really big for the next month, and I got a lot of stuff to do. So I got some of that to do, which might affect streams for next month, but just depends. Thank you for the one. That's nice. Your last bit, oh, the best. The last bit's the best bit. But no, I'll be back on Friday streaming more. I should. Nice thing about Fridays is even if I work too, I can just do it over the weekend. So, all right, have a good one. Have a there it is, cat. Yeah, I'm gonna need good luck for the work stuff. It's a lot of stuff, but yeah. All right. Have a good one. See you on a Friday. Hopefully this Friday. All right. Bye. Hello, Bello. Bye, Bello.